What do you suppose it'd be like if you didn't have to work for a living? What if work was optional? What would life be like? With the onset of AI, this is a concept called the abundance economy that some people are bouncing around. And the theory is that as AI and robotic automation starts doing more jobs, the cost of goods and services starts to drop. Things become cheaper. Everyone can more afford everything they need: food, clothing, shelter. It becomes much more affordable. The model also assumes a thing called universal basic income, but I'm going to skip that for now. But let's just sit with, what would life be like if work was optional and you had all your needs met? And I think the closest thing we can find is by observing what happens to the uber wealthy, because they're folks that don't have to work for a living. What can we learn from human behavior about studying them? Well, the data says that amongst the very wealthy, there is a certain increase in narcissism and also a drop in empathy towards other people, especially if the wealth was not earned. And researchers noted that even though these folks have everything they needed, they still are vying for some sort of status. There's also evidence that people who have too much ease and comfort fall into boredom and a sense of emptiness. What does this mean if we're heading for a society of abundance and nobody really needs to work? I think there's going to be an elevated rush towards experience. One thing that's going to start happening is people are going to be really obsessed with how wise and authentic they can be, because that's something that the AI can never do for. And if you can show the world how wise and authentic you are, you got some status. Since status won't be driven so much by what you have and material things, because everybody else has it too, people are going to go for something really inward. That means people might be really into these spiritual retreats or even drug use, because that's a very human experience that you can't get through AI. Be really drawn into things on personal meaning. Some people might go into things like philanthropy, like Bill Gates Foundation or the OpenAI project when it was not profit, because they're going to become like the wealthy philanthropists that we have today. Now, other people, especially if their identity is really tied into material things, they're going to spiral into depression. What's my purpose in life if I'm not producing something? What's the point of being here? What's the meaning of life if I'm not working or doing something? So my question to you is, if you're in the second group, don't worry, you got a lot of company. What is the meaning or the purpose of a squirrel? What is the meaning and purpose of a cat? The point is, once we're not driven so much by constant busyness, measuring our self-worth by productivity or how much money we make or what our job title is, we might finally discover what our true meaning and purpose is in being human. We've never really had that opportunity before. I also think in the new world where everybody has basic needs met, we're going to see new kinds of status symbols. How deep was your meditation? How good is your relationship? Climbed Mount Kilimanjaro lately? Oh, it's a trip. Be cool.